What if I told you raising taxes could actually shrink the economy and lowering them could make governments richer? Sounds crazy, right? Let's dive into the truth behind one of the most misunderstood ideas in economics, the Laffer Curve. If a government sets tax rates at 0%, it collects no money, obviously. As tax rates rise, 10%, 20%, 30%, government revenue increases too. But here's the twist. If taxes climb too high, say 70%, 80%, 90%, something unexpected happens. People stop working as hard. Businesses stop investing. The wealthy find loopholes, shelter income, or move their assets abroad. The economy shrinks. And when the economy shrinks, guess what? There's less income to tax, and total government revenue falls. The Laffer Curve shows this. Revenue rises with higher taxes until it doesn't. The story behind the Laffer Curve is as fascinating as the theory itself. It was 1974. Economist Arthur Laffer was at dinner with policymakers, frustrated by President Gerald Ford's economic strategy. Right there, using nothing but a napkin, Laffer drew a simple curve to explain that overtaxing could actually damage an economy, not strengthen it. The lesson? Both 0% and 100% tax rates produce zero revenue. Somewhere in between, there's a sweet spot where taxes are just high enough to fund government services, but low enough to keep people motivated to work, invest, and innovate. But finding that sweet spot, it's more complicated than just drawing a pretty curve. We've seen the Laffer Curve play out in history. In the early 1960s, President John F. Kennedy argued for cutting income tax rates, believing it would actually boost economic growth. And it worked. The Revenue Act of 1964 slashed rates, and over the next several years, America experienced a strong surge in GDP and tax revenues. Fast forward to the 1980s. Ronald Reagan followed a similar path. The top marginal tax rate dropped dramatically from 70% to 50% and eventually to 28%. Supporters claim the cuts fueled an economic boom that lasted nearly a decade. But critics argue that while revenues grew, so did national deficits. Lower taxes encouraged growth, yes, but they also demanded smarter spending policies, which didn't always happen. The reality? Tax cuts can unleash economic energy, but without responsible budgeting, they can also lead to dangerous debt. And it's not just America where the Laffer Curve made an impact. Around the world, other countries have tested this theory, with dramatic results. Take Ireland, example. In the late 1990s, the Irish government made a bold move. They slashed corporate taxes from around 40% down to just 12.5%. At first, critics warned it would bankrupt the country. But the opposite happened. Ireland's economy exploded in what became known as the Celtic Tiger era. International businesses poured into the country. Thousands of high-paying jobs were created almost overnight. And government revenue from corporate taxes didn't shrink. It skyrocketed. Lower tax rates actually led to a bigger economic pie for everyone. Now, contrast that with countries that push taxes too high. Take France, for instance, with its so-called millionaire tax. In the early 2010s, France introduced a 75% tax on incomes over 1 million euros. Sounds like an easy way to collect more money, right? But instead, thousands of wealthy individuals, investors, and entrepreneurs simply packed up and left the country. They moved their businesses and fortunes to places with friendlier tax policies, like the UK and Switzerland. France didn't just lose tax revenue, it lost innovation, jobs, and opportunity. It's a powerful lesson. Tax policy doesn't exist in a vacuum. People and money are mobile, and when tax rates ignore economic reality, the consequences are real and painful. Now you might be wondering, okay, but what does all of this have to do with me? Sir? Everything. Taxes aren't just a number quietly deducted from your paycheck. They shape the economy you live in. They determine how easy it is to find a good job, whether small businesses in your town are opening or shutting their doors, how much you get to keep from your hard work, your investments, your dreams. When taxes are balanced wisely, they fuel innovation. They reward risk-taking. They create an environment where ideas turn into companies, and companies create jobs. Wages grow, wealth expands. But when taxes are set too high without understanding the real impact, growth slows, jobs dry up, investment flees to more welcoming places. And the middle class, the real engine of any economy, feels the pain first.